Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to another Path of Exile video. Today's video is going to be a guide on the Herald of Agony Ascendant that I'm playing in the Synthesis Flashback event. I'll be going over leveling, skill gem setups, gear progression, and more. The Path of Building link will be in the description below, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like if you like it, dislike it if you don't, and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, Herald of Agony is a skill gem that reserves a portion of your mana and gives you a base chance to poison. When you do poison an enemy, you'll receive a stack of virulence and summon an agony crawler, and the agony crawler itself will be the main source of damage for this build. The Agony Crawler is unable to take damage, which means taking minion life nodes or jewels is useless for this build. This fact does, however, allow us to use damage on full life support, which is a powerful more multiplier. This also means that unlike other minion builds, we'll be taking the damage ourselves, which requires us to build tankier than a traditional summoner. Alright, so first we'll go over leveling Herald of Agony. You'll receive Herald of Agony in Act 2 after completing the Intruders in Black quest. With the Scion, you'll actually need to purchase the gem from Yina, but prior to getting the Herald of Agony gem, you can pretty much level with Stormbrand or any other skill you're comfortable with. Explosive Trap, that kind of thing. Once you get Herald of Agony, you'll want to look for a 3-link bow, preferably one with fast attack speed. A short bow is going to be the preferred bow, and the links you'll be looking for will be chromatic, so you'll want blue, red, green, and you'll want to socket in Herald of Agony with increased minion damage and damage on full life to start. For your attack skill, we're going to be using Rain of Arrows, preferably Ball Rain of Arrows in this case, which can be gotten at the end of Act 1. And you'll not want to level it up, so as soon as you get it, the first time it levels, just right click on the little plus. And the reason for this is we want to keep the mana cost as low as possible, so you don't really do that much damage with this build anyway, so the damage multiplier is kind of useless, and keeping it low mana cost is really nice. And your Rain of Arrows setup will be with lesser poison to begin with, and then once you get it in Act 2 after killing the Weaver, you'll want to add faster attacks. For the bandits, we'll be killing them all, getting the skill points. They don't really do anything else for us. Once you reach Act 3, you'll want to be looking for a 4-link in order to add Pierce to your Herald of Agony, which will increase your clear speed. You'll also want to be leveling a faster attacks in addition to the one on your Rain of Arrows, which you can swap with Pierce for boss fights. Afterwards, you can complete the library quest in Act 3 and receive the poison support gem, which will increase your poison chance to 80, which is all you really need because you'll be attacking so fast you'll be able to get your stacks up without getting 100%. You can also look for a 4th link for your Rain of Arrows setup in order to put life gain on hit, which you can get in Act 1, which will allow you to sustain very easily as you level up. Early on in Act 3, you'll also want to pick up the Hatred aura. This is the best aura for the build because the Agony Crawler receives a rather substantial physical base damage per stack of virulence. For your first ascendancy, I would recommend going towards the Ranger in order to get the Raider ascendancy. In this build, the 2 ascendancies we're going to be getting as an ascendant are going to be Raider and Juggernaut. Necromancer provides quite a bit of utility, but unless you're going to use an offering, it's not really that useful. It'll definitely increase your speed and survivability. Go Raider Juggernaut, and they're going to be more beneficial overall. You do enough damage with Herald of Agony, you don't really need to resort to using Necromancer. Once you have both of your skills set up in 4 links, there's honestly not much you need to do. This can pretty much get you to endgame fairly easily, and if you get a 5th link, you can add faster attacks as well. If you happen to have a Tabula Rasa for your 6th link, for now I would add Added Fire as it scales quite nicely with the base attack of the Agony Crawler. And useful unique leveling items would be a Quill Rain and Wanderlust. And even a Shade Breath would be nice in the beginning to allow your Agony Crawler to catch up and follow you a little bit easier. For the skill tree, you'll want to head to the health regeneration up to the upper left of the Scion starting point, through Shaper, and then up towards the Templar section. You can grab Quick Recovery, go down to Retribution, and then get Discipline and Training. Then you want to go up and get the entire Spiritual Command Wheel for the attack speed, but rather than going through the minion life, we're going to go up and around through the Intelligence nodes and then go through Purity of Flesh Cluster. Afterwards, we want to go back and get Spiritual Aid behind that, and the entire cluster associated with it. From there, if we can go back to the Scion starting point, we can go through to Acrobatics through all the attack speed. And one of the nice things about playing a Scion is the fact that we're going to be near a lot of 1-point jewel slots. So if you're playing Synthesis Flashback event, make sure that you watch out for Ghastly Eye Jewels from the Abysses, particularly ones with life, flat physical damage, minion attack speed, and minion attack speed if you or a minion have killed recently. Otherwise, at this point, we start taking nearby life nodes such as the Scion Life Wheel and Revenge of the Hunted. We'll also be picking up Acrobatics around this time and working towards Herbalism and getting Phase Acrobatics. If you feel like your damage is starting to fall off, you can pick up the Grave Pact nodes through the minion attack speed. Also, to allow you to run Hatred once you've gotten the 5th and 6th link for your Herald of Agony, you'll want to pick up Charisma at some point fairly early on, and eventually the Sovereignty Wheel as well. For utility gem setups, we'll be using our normal Cast on Damage Taken, Immortal Call, Increased Duration setup. This has nice synergy with the Juggernaut. As far as movement skills go, we have a couple of decent options. We have Mirage Arrow and Flame Dash, depending on your preference. Mirage Arrow is going to be a bit quicker in Synthesis League, though. It can potentially leave you stranded in Decay. It has a decent cooldown, but Flame Dash has 3 charges, which allows you to get over multiple pieces of Decay. So it's really a judgment call for you. If you do choose Flame Dash, just link it with faster casting. For Mirage Arrow, you'll want to link it with faster attacks and faster projectiles. And then you'll be using Projectile Weakness for your curse, as it benefits your Agony Crawler and gives you a little bit of pushback, which is useful against melee bosses. And you can link that with faster casting and increase area of effect if you'd like. And you should of course also be using Hatred. For your Herald of Agony 5-link setup, you'll want to go Herald of Agony, minion damage support, damage on full life support, pierce, and faster attacks. Once you have your Herald of Agony at skill gem level 21 or higher, you can replace faster attacks with vicious projectiles, as you'll get a substantial amount of attack speed going from 20 to 21. It goes from 3% per stack to 4%, so that's basically an entire faster attacks at max. On your 6th link, initially you'll be wanting to add added fire, but eventually you'll want to try purchasing a level 3 or 4 Empower, and these can be pretty pricey at the moment. A level 3 Empower cost me 2 Exalts, and a level 4 was sitting at 6 Exalts at the time. These prices do tend to drop a bit as the league goes on, and you might be able to afford it a bit more easily towards the end of the league. If you want to run a more standard 6 link for now, you can just have that added fire. Once you do get your Empower, you can replace your added fire with it, and later on you'll be able to be amplifying the damage even further with a bow that we're going to talk about in the gearing section. As far as your Rain of Arrows goes, you'll want to add Blood Magic once you have a 5 link, as it allows you to spam your attacks without worrying about very reduced mana pool. With all the life regen and life gain on hit, you'll not really have any difficulty whatsoever, and you'll be able to easily out-regen the no matter what the life cost is, and no matter how fast you attack. So with the final skill gem setup for the Vol Rain of Arrows, you'll want the Vol Rain of Arrows, Poison, faster attacks, life gain on hit, and Blood Magic. When it comes to gear, it's pretty simple with this build. We're going to want a lot of life, and we're going to want to be over-capped on resistances. We're looking for a total resistance of at least 119 for each of our resistances, so we can be capped for elemental weakness maps for red maps. And then we're going to be looking for as much life as possible. For boots, we're going to want as high movement speed as possible. 30 is preferred, and as much life as well. It's better to focus on getting resistances on other pieces that are less difficult to get desirable mods together and less expensive for that. You can also simply use Etziri's Step, which synergizes with our build greatly, and it also provides a large amount of life, 30% movement speed and spell dodge, so we get the evasion and the dodge as well. There's a unique body armor that's often run with this build, generally on the melee or spellcaster versions. It's called the Coming Calamity, which gives +2 to the level of Herald gems that are socketed in it and makes it so Herald gems always have 45% reservation. However, as a bow character, we do have some potentially better options. We can get a level 50 or higher item level short bow that is a 6-link, which we can either purchase through PoE.trade or the regular PoE trading site, or we can get through the Porcupine Divination card. We'll be able to craft +1 gem level on the bow, and so what we're going to do is we're going to get the bow white or blue, and we're going to go ahead and transmute it if it's white, see if there's an open prefix. If there is, we're going to augment it to try to get the +1 gem levels, not +1 bow gem levels, but just general +1 gem level. If we don't, we're going to keep alterationing it until we get an open prefix again. We're going to keep doing this until we hit the +1 gem levels. We'll augment it every time we roll a suffix, but no prefix. Once we do have the +1 gem levels, we're going to augment it again if it doesn't have a suffix already, and then we're going to regal it. If we're lucky, we can get increased attack speed from one of these rolls. And from there, we're going to put +2 to support gem levels if we do have the craft available. I personally don't. So what I did is I put the minion attack and cast speed, which is also fairly good and gives you a nice little damage boost. But the plus to gem level is going to significantly increase the rank of our Empower, and thus the level of our Herald of Agony. If we have a rank 4 Empower, or level 4 Empower, and a level 21 Herald of Agony with that bow setup, we're going to have a level 28 Herald of Agony, which is a pretty substantial damage boost. This is going to put our damage in the millions of damage per second. For flasks, we're going to want an instant life flask, 2 quicksilver flasks, and 2 utility flasks. I'm using a Stibnite and also a granite flask. There you go. You'll want to make sure that you also have bleed immunity, curse immunity, and freeze immunity included in your flasks. And we're also going to want to focus on jewels. So finally with the jewels, you want at least 5 jewel slots, if not more. And I go for those ghastly eye jewels. And being a Scion, you can have access to all those jewel slots. You can utilize a very large amount of them, giving you a lot of flat life, minion attack speed, flat minion damage. Since we already scale so much life percentage from the tree, every bit of flat health is going to drastically increase our life. And flat minion damage scales really well with the Hatred aura and makes it so that if a lot of our virulence stacks kind of fall off and they drop a little bit lower, we're still going to be doing a decent amount of damage. And the attack speed, of course, is going to increase our clear speed, going to overall bring up the DPS. It's going to make us able to drop faster attacks for vicious projectiles earlier. So it comes in handy. And in order to find jewels, you want to kind of look in PoE.trade. You want to set minion life as the, or sorry, not minion life. You want to set maximum life as the main mod you're looking for. Then bring up a separate one and put a count and put in all of the minion attack speed and flat physical minion damage in there. And look for jewels. They're usually going to be pretty expensive, like 5 to 50 chaos each, but they're definitely worth it. They really bring up the power potential for this build. Alright, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this Path of Exile build guide, and it's been a great deal of fun to play this build so far this league. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye!